Hello everyone, my name is Brittany Greer and I am part of the EDP 310 Psychology for Non-Teachers. I decided to do a video instead of typing this reflection because I feel like it would be better off me explaining instead of using my voice instead of typing. I'm better off using my voice than I am typing. What I decided to do for my culture plunge was I ended up doing one of the examples, and the example I did ended up being, if you are physically able, navigate in a wheelchair in a public space. I brought a wheelchair to my work environment. I got it okay with my boss before I decided to do this just randomly one day, and he questioned me why I'd be doing this. I did it for the first hour or so. I couldn't do all day because I work with children, even though it would have been a very, very good example for me to do the whole day so I can see from another perspective. I am a daycare teacher. I'm a 1-year-old teacher. I will have to say that was probably the hardest thing I have ever done. My 1-year-olds are super clingy, always wanting to be held, and they had to touch the wheelchair, and I was terrified to move because I didn't want to run over their little fingers or run over their little toes. So that's why I only did an hour with that. It also helped me realize how thankful I am to be physically able to do stuff, be able to get up, walk, pick heavy objects up. It's just like mind-blowing to me that we take little things for granted until we try something that is completely out of the norm for us, but it's the norm for a person who has to be in a wheelchair for the rest of their life. From our textbook here, there's a quote that I would like to share. In many parts of the world, the dream of achieving multicultural communities where people's voices are treated with parity appears exclusive. Even within nations, the voices of minorities, which is religion, tribal minorities, are silenced by dominant minorities. In a way, this quote relates to my experience just by changing about the cultural. Well, the cultural is kind of the same, but instead of doing religion and tribal, I'm doing physically able and non-physically able. The physically able are silenced. The non-physical are silenced. The physically able have a voice. You go to most places, they have the handicap push button. If I had a parent, if COVID would allow us for our parents to come into the classroom, that parent would have to struggle to get their child out of the classroom if they wanted to come and see the classroom and take the child out from the classroom. Because our doors are regular classroom doors. You open and close them. They don't stay open unless you prop them open. So that would be a little bit difficult. I'm thankful that we don't have stairs in my facility, but the hallways are not large. So if there's a lot of people walking down the hallway and someone is trying to wheel themselves in to go pick up their child at their classroom door, that person has to either wait for people to make way for them, or someone else had to bring their kid out. Another quote I would like to share is apparent that change agents for multicultural educations are needed. In many countries of the world, especially in African continent, change has not been coming as expected. Members of minority tribes are yet to find their footing in multiculturalism seems to be far from reach. I believe that this quote kind of relates to my experience as being physically not able in a wheelchair for an hour. Is that no one actually thinks about what it's like until you go through it. You can wake up one day and your legs don't work. How are you going to get to work? How are you going to drive your car? How are you going to get up and go get your child out of their crib, or get them ready for school? Here's another quote I would like to share. As indicated, when infused properly, multicultural education has the power to change attitude and enhance quality education, especially when it's exposes individuals to maximum learning and new dimensions of problem solving. B, acquaintance individuals with divergent viewpoints and multiple voices to solent discourse. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing these words wrong. Removes limits set on how people are defined, understood, and valued. And D, increases how people collaborate, consult, and cooperate with each other. This quote is something that, unless you work in the medical field, you don't understand it until, like I said, you live through it, or you experienced it, or you have a family member that is going through it. You have to accommodate around them because they can't accommodate around you. It's not possible. I'm sure it is possible, but physically, it's going to be 10 times easier for the physically able to collaborate around the non-able. My final quote I would like to share. I know this video is going over 7 minutes, 5 to 7 minutes, but I think this needs to be addressed because you don't know what people go through that are different from you. In human action, there is an enemy within or an enemy without. To advance our professions, educators and psychologists must be interested in challenging ourselves just as we are challenging others. Individuals' challenges must flourish to make collaborative positive changes possible. Though the world has more goodness than evil, educational and psychological professionals have not been personally proactive as they should have been, especially in dealing with mistrust, misrepresentations, and other critical problems as tribalism, operations, program, I don't know how to say that, I'm sorry, sexism, homophobia, terrorism, and war. I believe as educators, as myself only being a 1-year-old teacher, it is important that we promote positive surroundings around us. We don't want to create an enemy with the person next to us because they're different. I know that's not what the quote is really trying to say, but we have to challenge ourselves and step outside the box. So stepping outside of the box is doing what the person that is from either a different, for my example, stepping out of the box of doing something that like a physically able person can do. We can stand up, get up, walk to the fridge, or go out the door and drive. A physically able person can't do that. A non-physically able person cannot do that. They have to have assistance. I got a lot out of this experience, and this is something that I want my future classroom as I become when I become a elementary educator. I want to do something like this for my classroom. Something a little bit different. I'm not going to bring in a wheelchair, but this experience makes you think. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you got something out of it. Thank you.